Alright, how you guys doing today? Today's story is coming from r/creepyencounters. First things first though, if you like the video, if you like my voice, like the video, make sure you leave a comment. I don't care what you say, just say something. Today's story is coming from user/social justice_cactus, titled, Creepy Dudes While I Was Camping. I think my friend and I would have been raped or otherwise harmed if we hadn't listened to our guts. I was 18, my friend was 16, and I had just graduated high school and we decided to go camping overnight. Both of us are female, but it was a safe area close to home, so we weren't worried. We were making dinner when a man with fishing gear walks into the view of our campsite from up the canyon in the river. He asked if he could cut through our site to the road. Nothing seemed unusual, so we said sure. He stopped in the middle of our site and asked what we were making. Really just made polite small talk, but then his questions started getting uncomfortable. How old are you guys? Where are you from? How long are you planning to be up here? Is it just you two up here? I'll admit, some part of me felt uneasy, but my friend and I were naive, and we answered every single question and even offered the guy some food. He declined the food and headed out of our campsite and down the canyon. A couple hours later, he and a middle-aged man walked up from the canyon, from the direction the first man left in, and strolled right into our campsite. The first one took us up on our earlier offer for some dinner and really just sat there. The new guy asked us a lot of questions, most along the same vein as the first guy, and this felt uncomfortable. I was uneasy, but I didn't want to be rude. After a while, they thanked us for the chat and left our campsite, heading up the canyon, away from where we assumed they were camped. This is when subtle alarm bells became less subtle. My friend and I ate and sat by the fire well into the evening past dark, laughing and having fun. However, we both watched the road the whole time, and those men never went back down the canyon. Now I can see that they may have just simply had a fishing base lower in the canyon and the campsite higher, but every ounce of self-preservation was on edge at this point. My intuition screamed for me to reconsider. I was desperate to enjoy this camping trip though, and I didn't say anything. But gosh, the tension was thick in the air between my friend and I. We were both uneasy and did what we could to fill the silence between us. Eventually she said, "You know the worst part about camping by a river?" My stomach sank. Of course I knew. Here in northern Utah, where the rivers are fed largely by runoff and they trap down steep mountains, they're loud. You can't hear anything over them, I responded. She nodded. You think we should leave, don't you? She said she didn't feel good about the situation. At this point in our lives, we were both staunch Mormons. I am no longer, so we said a prayer. I now see this as me consciously and fully welcoming the voice of my intuition into my decision-making process. Clear as day, we both knew we had to get out. As soon as we really stopped pushing down that intuition in favor of having a fun night, all bets were off. Terror filled us, and we threw everything haphazardly into my car before booking it down the canyon. The terror wouldn't leave us until we got off the dirt road and into the canyon fork on the main paved road out of the mountains into town. We both watched the rear view the whole time, praying we never saw headlights behind us. As soon as we had signal, we called my dad and told him what happened. He told us to get the H out of there and make sure that we weren't being followed. We ended up sleeping safe and sound in my friend's backyard that night. Knowing what I do now as a sequel assault therapist, I'm almost certain those men had ill intentions for us that night. Alright, that's going to be the end of the story. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. Peace.